Radio. Hello and good evening. Welcome to the In the Spotlight radio show. This is our fourth show since our return post-COVID. Well, you could say post-COVID, but I mean COVID is still present and relevant, but I'm sure you understand exactly what I mean. Welcome to tonight's program. Last week Monday, just as a reminder of our guests last week, we had the members of the Alternative People's Party, the interim executive, comprised of Tahira Blanchard, Sharon Vidal, Kendra Stephen, and Shirlene Sabruch. And if you missed the program, you can go to any one of my platforms, whether on my Fedina Frampton Facebook page. You can go to the In the Spotlight ITS radio group, fans group. You can go there as well. Or you can also go to the In the Spotlight page. Either place, you will find the program. Same as those of you who are tuned in this evening, you can go to any one of those platforms if you would like to check us out live on Facebook this evening. Welcome to the program, one and all, acknowledging a few folks. As always, we give thanks to Q95 and Mr. Gregoire for allowing us the time on this radio station to host our program. We are indeed grateful. Josephine Gabriel and Company provides us with the water that we drink. From talking too much, way too much sometimes on the program, we are grateful to them for that. And for the last 2 Mondays, I'm back on my own wheels now, but I still just want to give some acknowledgement to 365 Car Rental. And again, just to remind you, if you'd like to call them, you can do so on 276-2833 if you're looking for a rental. We thank you so much. We appreciate it, and I've been told anytime that I'm in need, do not hesitate to ask. So thank you to Carlon, and as well my brother Pato for assisting me in that regard. I just want to say hi and good evening to Jordan Jerome as well, GK. So GK helps me with ensuring that my logo is on my videos and so on. So I really want to thank him for his support. You know, sometimes they say it takes a village. You know, a little support here, a little support there. Innovate Multimedia for our flyer. We thank you for that. Really, really beautiful flyer as well. Again, our social media platforms, our In the Spotlight radio show fans group. You can go there and become a member, join our fans group. We have quite a nice fans group going on there, and I'll tell you how nice they are in just a while. You can follow me, Fedina Frampton, as well, and you can also like my public page. It's Fedina Fernanda Frampton. You can check us out. Our previous guest as well, we had Angela James, our very first guest since our return. And then we had clinical psychologist Leslie Ann Waldron Martin. And last week, as I mentioned, we had the interim executive of the APP. And before I tell you who our guest is tonight, well, most of you would know who our guest is tonight on the program. We'll say hello to her in just a while. But I really wanted to take some time before I get into the program this evening to acknowledge those folks who really enjoy and appreciate this program. And on the weekend, I actually put a post in the fans group, and I asked them, you know, tell me one thing that you like or love about the program. And the responses were quite touching to me. I know that people enjoy the program, they listen, they enjoy, and so on. But I never, you know, realized how deep this program was and how much it meant to people. And Marsha Stedman wrote, and I'm sure because they put it on there, it's okay to mention their names. She said, I love the fact that the show is honest and real. Your guests are not all famous persons, though you do have your fair share of our local celebrities, but it also touches on everyday persons, making a difference how and where they can. It helps us to learn things about persons that we would otherwise never know. It helps us to build even more respect and admiration for your guests because we get a little more close and personal. You are also an amazing host because your guests are comfortable and feel safe to truly open up and share. Keep it up. Rudy Joseph Jr. wrote, I love how we are hearing the real stories of some people we thought we knew. Trevor Bertrand wrote, I like the purity of the show. Alexi Mariana Green wrote, your warmth. Greta Green wrote, I love the way your audience says it all. So she loved just what everybody was saying. Hester Boyd, my cousin, said, I love the way you make your guests feel relaxed. And there's so much more. My friend Omar, he said, the honesty of the conversation. Margaret Seaman wrote, I love the show because it is not biased. It is educational. It brings a wealth of information to the table. Entertaining, quite inviting and knowledgeable. It sure captures my undivided attention. If I do not get to partake live, I do the repeats. I love the fact that the show is tailored for everyone, meaning persons in different areas in life, the rich, middle class, and poor. One does not have to be highly educated or even educated to have the ability to listen and can relate. The host is always on her toes with her genuine smiles and concerns, and there comes the smile. She appeals to the listeners. Carlin Law, original, warm interview style, you really get to know the person. It is amazing to hear the guest stories, Carissa Graham wrote. Gloria McLaurin said, your beauty, love, and light shines right through the show. That you extend such relaxing kindness to your guests, it brings out their unapologetic, genuine, authentic selves. Joanna St. Amy wrote, I love the show. It feels so natural, the way you interact. The guests are always comfortable. Good job, my dear. My good friend Latricia Cadet wrote, I love In the Spotlight, not just for the guest, but for the host. It is nice really getting to know the people, but the host makes it a conversation that almost seems like it's just between us three. I am entertained, educated, and I thoroughly enjoy the show. It's like reading your favorite book all the time, every time. And the comments go on and on and on. And I really wanted to take the time this evening to, and if you feel like probably you didn't get a chance to comment on the post over the weekend, you can feel free to do so under the live tonight. Somebody wants to know what are we cooking tonight, Chef? Right. We're coming to Chef in just a while. So yes, you know, the feedback and comments are encouraging and they are definitely appreciated, and I feel like I am achieving something when I come here to do this program. So thank you everyone. I couldn't read all the comments, but they were all generally along those lines. I really do appreciate the time you took to give the comments and to share your feedback and so on. And I urge you to continue sharing, continue to make suggestions for guests for the show. In fact, our guest tonight was one of the suggestions that one of you made within the group. So thank you for that. And you know, let's continue. You know, as long as I'm able, as I've said before, I will continue to be here to do this program. So wherever you are tonight, tuned into the program, whatever you're doing, in whatever part of the world that you're listening from, we thank you and appreciate you greatly for choosing our program tonight. The In the Spotlight radio show tonight presents Chef Nyanda Peltier-Charles, a young, and again, you know, it brings to light what some of you said on the program. We bring on everybody that we think is able to. We ask, you know, we try our best to bring on everyone. So every time you get a different flavor now. You know, when you come and you tune in and you know, last week probably we had an educator. Tonight we have a chef. Who knows who we'll have next week? And that is what it is all about. That's the essence of the In the Spotlight radio show. And thank you for sharing, Andy. Andy and Lisa have been, you know, they're sharing everything, you know, supporting their jala. All right, let's get ready to go. It's 18 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. This is the In the Spotlight radio show, and we're ready to say good evening to our guest, Nyanda Peltier-Charles, from Point Michelle. Yes. And we say Nini for short. Yes. Those who know her well call her Nini. Yes. So let me just make sure I have the correct mic for you, Nini. Say good evening.
Good evening.
All right, let's see.
Good evening.
Okay, I think it's one of those, so it must be this one right here. Alright, so Nyanda, an opportunity here to say good evening to everyone who is tuned in and locked into the program tonight. Nyanda, family, mommy, daddy, everybody.
Everybody, good evening. Jalapwet, family, friends, everybody, good evening, welcome, and I can't wait.
All right. It is in fact a pleasure to have you. And before you know, I even get into the meat of things. Those of you who know me know very well that there's a particular thing that I love. Now, Pastor Rodney a while ago told the caller to his program, don't use the word devil on his he don't use the word devil on his program. But I will use it this time because Nini brought me something. Besides her going to share some recipes on the program tonight, she brought me some deviled eggs, but she's going to tell me exactly what it is, because it's not the normal deviled eggs I make at home.
No, it's deviled eggs. It has a hint of ginger in the puree, in the yolk puree, and it's topped with smoked chicken salsa with an edible wild garlic flour and pickled onions. Pickled red onions, actually.
Oh my god. Okay, guys, you have to allow me.
Yeah, let us savor the moment.
This is really good.
Thank you.
Okay, I know what they're going to
That's
say.
my favorite sound.
I know what they're going to say, but I just like food. I do. So we're putting that away.
Yeah.
I like this smoking.
Smokiness. Yes.
This is really good. This is no regular devil budget that people already want.
So I wanted to give you a taste of what my concept is, sort of taking what we know and twisting it and using everything local, basically, or most things. I would say 90% local ingredients. That's what I try to use all the time.
Tell me again what's in there.
It's deviled eggs, so the yolk is pureed. It has, it's seasoned and also infused with a little ginger, and it's topped with smoked chicken salsa, and it has an edible wild garlic flour and pickled red onions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suspect they're a little jolly. They might want to see. It's not a lie, I lied. Let me show you fast. You see? Can you all see right here? Yes, that's the goodness that I just got. But I did share with Pastor Rodney and Pastor Jack. They also tasted it and they thought it was excellent. I think it's excellent. So let's just say, Nini, I want a platter of this. We're going to get into the whole convo. But let's just say I want a platter of this, just for, whatever. Can I just say to you, can I have this?
Yes, you can just say. And I top my deviled eggs with quite a few different things. From shrimps to even smoked herring, saltfish, I think you can go wild with it. It doesn't just have to be plain, with the normal.
I always make mine plain.
Yeah.
And I'm not a plain person.
Yeah. Spice it up a bit, not just the little cherry or the little parsley. Give it a little twist.
Alright, I just showed it, didn't you see? She's asking to see. Okay, I'm going to take one in my hand and I'm going to show. One. Can you see it? Yes, you see? There we go. Oh my goodness, y'all are making me do things here. Alright, so this is our goodness. And that was so thoughtful of you to know that I love deviled eggs.
Yeah, I mean, from your posts, I've noticed that, I went through them like, okay, she loves deviled eggs.
Yes, I'm a foodie, and I'm not ashamed. Unashamed.
No, that's awesome.
Alright. So Nyanda, we're going to have a conversation this evening. We're going to get to know you a bit better, and this is what our program is about. It's about the person's story. It doesn't matter how young you are. In the spotlight, it's not about the story of persons who are 70 years, and so we will have the 70 years and so on. I had a guest. My last guest was how old was she? 88. One of my guests. So we bring people from all walks of life on here. So let us begin, Nyanda, by we already know Sijal our poet. So tell us about your Point Michel heritage.
Well, I'm from Sibuli originally. My parents are Joey Peltier and Patsy Peltier. My grandmother is Mamido, as everybody knows.
Everybody knows that they.
Yeah. We've lived in well, I grew up in the house in Sibuli, and a lot of people know the house lower down, just before the cemetery. I was probably 5 when I left that house. But yeah, and I went to St. Luke's School.
We'll come to all of that in just a minute. For persons who do not know, your father, Joey, so let's talk about Joey a little bit. Your father, Joey, was the director of agriculture at one point in time in Dominica, and he was very well known. Tell me a little bit more about Joey, and then a little bit more about your mommy.
Okay, my dad he's an amazing guy. For me, I couldn't ask for a better dad. He's done and supported me so much in everything. And we've traveled a lot with him. We've been to Barbados, we've been to St. Lucia because of the type of job that he does. He's very much involved in agriculture. Considers himself an agriculturist. He's also an economist, and he's the one that helps the farming industry in Dominica a lot. Especially organic farming. He was one of the people to get certified as an organic farmer in Dominica. So I'm very proud of him because of that. He helps out a lot of young farmers, and right now he's into moringa. He has his moringa business, and we have the first moringa factory in Dominica.
I didn't know
in
that.
Point Michel right now.
I need to bring Joey on here.
Yes, you do.
Oh my goodness.
So he has.
That's a guest for the future.
Yes, so he has. He has moringa. He has 3 different products. He has moringa, turmeric, moringa guava day. And he also has a combo with all, and he's just introducing ginger to the whole package. And it's sort of linked with Miss Anna, my sister. So she does the body care products with moringa, which is amazing. She had so many good results with it. I'll send you a few videos. But yeah, that's my dad right now.
Well, clearly you all seem to be very skilled and very naturally talented people. But where is your dad?
He's here.
He's here. How is he?
He's good. He's great. He's, as I said, he's very much into his moringa. He loves the fact that it's actually helping people heal in so many different ways. So that's a great accomplishment for him. Yeah, natural healing.
Natural healing. Now tell me a bit about mommy. Auntie Patsy.
Auntie Patsy, she's amazing. She's a sweetheart. She's a darling. All my friends love her. Everybody knows her as Auntie Patsy. She's such a,
soft-spoken.
Warm.
May I help you to speak about your mother?
Everybody. And she's a boss chef herself. Without her, I wouldn't be where I am right now. She taught me a lot of things, and a lot of things local as well. So she taught me the basics, and then that's what I sort of took that and then I just ran with it in an innovative way. Yeah.
And there is also your brother Kwabena.
Kwabena.
Yes.
Kwabena is, man, he is so supportive. Like my entire family, he's so supportive. He got me this t-shirt. I said I had to wear it tonight. From all the way, he lives in the States right now, but he wears his Meadows t-shirt. Wherever he goes, he would wear it, and he would send a picture and he'd be like, and his family is very supportive as well. You know, whenever I go up there, one thing I have to make is cheesecake. And before I leave, I have to make one and
leave it in the fridge.
Yeah, and my brother Dia is so
He's actually locked in. I'm seeing him.
Yeah. Dia is very supportive, you know. He will taste test anything, right? Once it doesn't have ginger in it, because he's not a fan of ginger.
Okay.
But, you know, he would let me know, you know, the facts, the truth. And you know, he'd be like, Nini, nah, that one. And then he'd be like, yes, that one good.
Okay.
And then my sister, Miss Sana.
Yes.
She is the real big sister.
You are all beautiful people. I can say that for sure.
She's a real big sister. She's amazing, supportive. Her family, my nieces and nephews, they're all very supportive. Yeah. So I can count on them, especially her children, to tell me the truth about any of my food. Yeah, so once they say, Auntie Nyanda, no, then, you know.
Forget it.
Yeah.
And move on to something else.
Yes.
Tell us about Mamido.
Mamido. I miss her so much. She, as you know, or probably some people don't know, Mido's Kitchen, I named it after her. And how that came about is, I always loved, you know, seeing and watching her cook, her and my mom. And one day I was 5 years old. I could never forget that. I think I gave that story already, but I'll say.
You didn't give it to me.
She was, you know, mixing a cake, and you know, she prepared it, put it in the pan, and I'm thinking, alright, she's going to put it in the oven. I'm excited. I'm going to eat cake today. And she started a fire on the coal pot, and she put a galvanized over the coal, and then she had some hot coal on the side, and then she put the cake on the coal pot, on the galvanized, and then she covered it with another galvanized, and then she took the hot coal and she put it on top. So and she was sort of like, you know, keeping an eye on it, making sure the coal stayed hot on either end, and that's how she baked the cake.
Wow, incredible.
So from then on I was like, whoa.
That was just amazing to you.
Amazing. I couldn't believe it. Because you know, for a cake to cook all around, you need that enclosed space, and I think that's what she was trying to create. And the flavor that came from it was very, you know, it had a smoky, caramelly, sweet, vanilla, almond essence kind of vibes going on, and it was like the best cake I ever had in my entire life up to this day.
And that just left a lasting impression on you.
That just left a lasting impression. You know, I used to cook all the time, and then I got into the art, and you know, then I went back to the cooking.
We're gonna come to that.
Yeah.
I just saw your husband stated that your daughter is asking that you mention her.
Listen, I was just about to say. I saved the whole moment for you, Taya. This is your moment right here. My daughter is such an amazing individual. She is a mixture of both my husband and I. She, so Kunta and I were like night and day. Everybody knows that. But we mesh, and it just, you know, it's
balance stuff itself.
Balance, yeah. And then she's just a mix. She's a mixture of both of us. So she's very outgoing. She's super creative. Couple days ago, she created a comic book, about her cat, which she named the cat Cash Money, and she created, and she did such a good job. I was so amazed by you know how she actually went to research how comic books are made, and she did all the drawings, you know, with the big words like boom and pow, and I was so amazed. She's an amazing.
How old is she?
She's 9.
9.
And she's very supportive. You know, before I came here, she's like, Mom, you'll be fine. Breathe. Everything will be alright. I'll be looking at you.
Oh.
Okay.
And you didn't need anything else.
No, not at all.
I think that just those words of advice and comfort.
Yes.
I mean, other than the host being, one who makes everybody comfortable. All right. So
and my husband Kunta, he is, man, he's he's like, everything that I do, you know, we'd sit down, we'd talk about it, and he just goes with it because he knows my sense of creativity. And he's like, I trust you, I know what you're going to do, I'm there, and I'm going to support it. So he has my back 100%.
You need that.
Yeah.
You need
definitely.
that.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
So that's the family in a nutshell.
That's the family.
Except for all the nieces and nephews and all the others.
All of them.
That we can't talk about everybody tonight.
Yes.
But let us talk about your village, Point Michelle. I always like people to talk about their community, how proud they are of their community. I lived in Point Michelle for quite a while and I love Point Michelle.
Yes, yes. Point Michelle is a great place. You know, the community themselves, the people, they're very supportive people, as you know. They're always for each other. You know what I mean? Somebody in Point Michelle won't see you in another area and see something happening to you and won't intervene in order to you know, turn it into a good situation or help you out or whatnot. They're very supportive. You know, even the Point Michelle people that live overseas, the diaspora, they're super supportive. You know, it's a place where you can showcase your talent and you will get 100% support. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, I started cooking, you know, from home, and everybody from Point Michelle would come at home and buy, you know, whatever, you know. My first customer, I'm going to name him, was Caris Alexander.
Really? The same Caris who does the barbecue?
Yes. I used to do this sweet chili wings with potato salad, you know, a very long time ago. And him and his wife Christina, they came to support, and Nadia Williams and her family, you know, and a couple of my brother's friends, you know, Rain and Crystal. So, you know, they're always there, you know, they always show support, you know, and I really appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, quiet. Is your hat?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
Alright, so the people of Point Michelle, and I can tell you they're here as well,
yeah,
giving the same level of support. Andy.
Yes, listen, there's Lisa.
Yes.
There's Andy, there's
yes.
Norma. I mean, they're there.
And your mommy says your proud mom is watching.
They're always supportive, you know, they have my back, you know, and I appreciate everything, you know. So one day when everybody's head down, we can have a big dinner.
Yes, of course, for everybody.
Yeah.
Nyanda, let's talk a bit about life growing up in Point Michelle and life in the other areas that your family had to move to when Daddy had to move to work outside of Dominica. So let's talk about life growing up in Point Michelle. We know you're very close to the sea right there.
Oh yes.
So that was, you know.
I was a water baby.
Ah.
I still am. I spent most of my days in the sea. Your brother Patrick would know that because he gave me the name Mermaid.
Ah.
Yeah. So this life at, you know, in Point Michelle growing up was very good. You know, I had a really good childhood. Living in the sea, cooking jot by the bay, climbing mango tree, kenny tree, the tamarind tree by St. Luke's School, you know, running around, playing hide and seek and building peeperies. If nobody knows a peepery, it's like a raft. Basically, you build it with this floating wood. So it was really good. You know, school was good. St. Luke's School was good. At the time, we had teacher Vilna as principal, so she was amazing and still is an amazing person.
I would hope somebody like her would be able to make it to come to the studio and be in here.
Yes.
This is something I need to look into. In fact, she was nominated as one of the persons to be here.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing when she went to get her award, that she seemed just a little fragile.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something that she would be able to do, but I'll talk to her daughter.
Yes, definitely.
Let's see what happens. Let's bring her here.
Yes.
Yes, go on.
And you know, I had teachers at like Sir Vincent, Sir Carlton, you know, great teachers. So it's always been great support. And I started, you know, I was always into art, and that started from primary school. I was involved in everything. I used to help, you know, make little costumes for little plays and stuff like that. Teacher Rosalia was very good. Was very good at arts and crafts, so I learned a lot from her as well. And that was in grade 1, so you can imagine it was way back. So
yeah. And so from primary school, did you already know? You seem to be crafty with your hands. You have blessed hands.
Yeah.
But even from that point, did you know what direction you probably would be heading into?
Yeah, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. There was no question. Like, my first Barbie doll, I built, I did an outfit for her out of banana leaf, and it was just like this extravagant banana leaf gown, and my mom was amazed. I think we have pictures somewhere, but I have to look for that. But after that, I'm like, that's my calling.
That's gonna be your calling.
Something.
So so Nyanda, from primary school, did the travels begin already in terms of daddy?
We left Dominica when I was 6, and we went to St. Lucia. So we spent some time in St. Lucia.
Do you remember what that was like for you?
A little bit.
You know, 6 years old, pretty young still.
My first day of school was horrible, not because the school was horrible, but I was just so, you know, everything was, it was scary. I was 6, I was going to grade 2, I didn't know anybody, and then my mom dropped me off at school, and then she left, and I started to cry. I'm like,
expected.
Anybody,
Unfamiliar territory.
Country.
Yeah.
But then after a while, you know, once again, I was involved in art. I entered so many art competitions, you know, at that young age. Yeah, art competitions, and we used to do a lot of art classes. I mean, together with everything else. So it was cool. St. Lucia was pretty cool.
Did you at that age understand why you had to leave your familiar territory to move to unfamiliar territory?
Not really. I just, you know, I was told that, you know, Daddy got a new job and he had to leave. So I had no choice. So that just wanted to just go with the family. At that time, you know, Kobena was already in the States studying, so it was just the three of us, mom and dad. Yeah.
What was St. Lucia like? What was it like?
St. Lucia was cool. You know, I still have some good friends from St. Lucia. St. Lucia was a good place, similar to Dominica. You know, a lot more
developed, advanced. Yeah.
So yeah, St. Lucia was cool.
How long did you stay in St. Lucia? Your family stayed in St. Lucia?
Well, I think it's 2 or 3 years.
Okay, it wasn't a long period of time.
No, it wasn't long.
Okay.
Then we came back.
And you came back to Dominica after that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then stayed here. So I didn't do, yeah, it was 3 years. Yeah, I remember it's grade 4 or 5, something like that. And then I ended up going to Sir Brian's class, back to St. Luke's School. So, who was an amazing teacher as well. One of my favorites. But yeah, and then I continued from there, and we didn't leave until I went to high school.
Okay.
To Barbados.
So your family moved to Barbados in your teenage years?
Yes.
All right. So at that time,
third form,
you were a little bit more aware
yes.
of what was happening
yes.
and you having to leave.
Yes.
At the time, what school were you attending?
Convent.
You were attending Convent High
yes.
School. And so you had to leave Convent,
yes.
third form,
yes.
and move to Barbados
right.
to go to
4th and 5th.
4th and 5th. In what school?
We went to St. Winifred's. I went to St. Winifred's. amazing school. I have some amazing friends, some of my closest friends. I have from that school, so we're pretty tight. And I think that was one of the best decisions, or best things that ever happened. It wasn't my decision, but
because I was gonna ask you, how did you feel at that point about having to leave your friends again, living your community, and then going again to somewhere else?
The thing I was mad about it most is I was going to miss prom. I was so upset, but it was still amazing. What convent offered based on what the St. Winifred's school offered in Barbados, in St. Winifred's and in Barbados in a whole, they offer more CXC subjects, and not just the academics, but I got to do visual arts at CXC, which was amazing. Like, I went to the school, I chose the subjects that that I wanted to do. I couldn't do visual arts and food and nutrition.
No,
I had to
choose one.
Yes.
And you chose visual arts.
I chose visual arts.
Why?
Because I thought it would be more beneficial to be more artistic. So the fact that I already knew how to cook at that age, I thought it would be more beneficial, especially with my plating and my creativity, to choose visual arts, learn more about the art, and after that, then I'll go on to cooking.
How do you compare, if you recall, the teaching style in Dominica and that of Barbados?
In Dominica, they're very much more, they're more strict. They're more strict, they're more academically driven. For me, I would love for all schools to do food and nutrition, visual arts, and they even did physical education as a CXC subject. Yeah, and I think that's very important, because not everybody is academically inclined. So you have to kind of balance it, you know what I mean? Because if I'm going to tell you something, probably a lot of people don't know, some people know. When I went to Barbados, I found out that I was actually dyslexic.
Really?
So that meant my left brain, anyways, the creative side dominated. So that's why.
But it makes sense.
But
it's good dyslexia then.
Yeah. And so the school offered programs. We had the therapy programs, ways to help you kind of work with both of them together and get the left side and the right side, intertwined with each other. So that was great. And I wish that, I've said this before, but I wish that, they had somebody that could, some, doctor or somebody that could test for dyslexia and anything in that sort of range in the schools in Dominica, because it will solve so many problems. Really, it would, and you would focus on the students' strongest areas. You know what I mean? And then that way, everybody will see what they're good at, and then you'll be able to
strengthen
develop
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. So that's something you would like to see happen.
I would love to see that. I would love to see food and nutrition be a key subject, and visual arts and physical education.
And to give the student the opportunity to be able to do all if they wish.
Yes.
And not an option.
Not an option.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are some girls my age that they came to me and they're like, Nyanda, we're not very good at cooking. We can't cook, and it's because they had to be studying so much at school. they didn't have the time to learn anything, you know, and they wasn't teaching those things at school, so they just, after a while, they just gave up. You know, they watched a couple YouTube channels, try to create some meals and whatnot, but you know, as a woman, I think you have to kind of be able to cook.
You have to. I think so too. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Who's calling you at this time?
I have no idea. I'm trying to.
She's on a program, a very important program.
Yeah, I
that
think
people
they're
are
probably trying to order
baby.
pizza for tomorrow.
That's what I suspect is happening.
Yeah.
So after the Barbados thing, so you start your CXCs and everything in Barbados.
Yes.
You did all of that there.
So yes, I did everything in Barbados. You know, and then after that, I went to England.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I did visual arts there as well, art and design actually. So, and then I did my A-levels in art and design and a few other subjects as well. So that was great. That was an experience. We sort of covered a lot of different art mediums. So I'm very versatile. So it's not just painting.
So that is one of the areas that I was going to go to.
Yeah.
Tell us what you can do.
Well, I paint. I build costumes. Well, not necessarily build, but I design costumes. I build spectacular wares, right?
So you design costumes, but you build spectacular wares.
I build and design.
You build and design.
Yes, and I do sculptures. Arts and crafts, general arts and crafts. So yeah, I love painting. That's my favorite. Because it's a type of therapy, you know. So I sit down, I paint, and I forget about everything else, just like cooking. Yeah.
So you have blessed hands.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And still to come on our program tonight, Nyanda has some recipes that she has to share with us. But I wanted to read something to you that somebody just messaged to me.
Oh, okay.
And they said, oh, by the way, they told me one time you topped deviled eggs with titiri.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Coconut. I think the titiri was in a coconut sauce. Yeah. And
you put that on the deviled eggs?
Yes.
Oh goodness me. Oh, I have those there, my mouth watering for the titiri ones. And the person just wanted you to know that your Next Connects events family love you very much.
Oh, Sissy and everybody. Yes. Love you guys.
Yes. They said we used her at our event. She did an amazing job at the WCMF VVIP dessert booth. People all over the world gave great commendations on the taste and presentation of her dessert corner. Yes. We thank her for that. Eternally grateful.
I'm going to tell you about.
Tell me about that.
They are amazing. That's Cecilia Saint-Hilaire and her son Devin and his wife Maria and her daughter. So
and there's Lani who is there.
And there's Lani who is in it. There's a group of us. There's Kamali. There's Henkel. Man, if I forgot anybody, there's Damien. They're a very good addition to the entertainment industry in Dominica. They do the Viva la Carnival. They do Soulation. You know, and as she said, they did
the WCMF.
Right. So they've turned the whole entertainment, you know, industry.
You feel the difference. Yeah, man.
It's just amazing. And I met Sissy when I was doing a private dinner for another amazing person, Jennifer Astafans. And she came and she's like, you know, she would be able to give me this story without me, but she's like, who is this girl? Who is this? You know, what is, like, I didn't know Dominica had a, like, what, you know, presentation and everything. And we sat down and she's like, I need to speak to you. I need you to join this group. I need you to come on board. We need you. We need to make things happen. And from then on, you know, I've been doing, you know, a lot of catering for them, you know, for the different events and whatnot. And then I got linked with, you know, Damien Sorrento, and they have the Infinite Group, right? So them as well, they're very good. Addition again to the event industry. So, you know, we work very well together, and they're very amazing people. Hi guys.
Alright, it is 8:54 the time in our studios. We're going to take a short break, and we're coming back to speak with Nyanda Peltier-Charles. She's a chef and a host of other things. We'll be back in just a moment. Keep it locked to the program.
Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m.
Be good. Trust you see everybody.
People from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight. Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining, a must listen to. In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
On this beautiful Monday nights in Dominica, this is the In the Spotlight radio show with a beautiful, somebody just said, a very beautiful soul, Nyanda Peltier-Charles, who's been making quite a name for herself here in Dominica. And we're just getting to learn about her, her skills, her talents, her business. So Nyanda went across to the UK to continue her studies, and so the UK experience was what exactly, Nyanda?
I went twice.
Twice.
The first time I did.
Why the UK before you continue?
I have a lot of family there.
Okay.
And I don't know. I wanted to. In the beginning, you know, I went because I have a lot of family there. That was the first reason when I did art and design. And the second time when I did culinary arts, I found that the programs were way better for me in what I wanted to do, because you know, it was such a melting pot. London, I thought, you know, that the school would have been a better option for me.
All right. So tell us about the London experience.
London was great. The second time when I went to study culinary arts, I was pregnant with my daughter. You know.
Did you already know?
Yes.
Okay.
I knew I was going, and I knew I was pregnant.
Okay.
So it wasn't going to stop me.
All right.
Anyways. So you know, it was school, work, baby, you know, but I had help, you know.
And all of that was happening in the UK. So baby was born in the UK?
Baby was born in the UK. So going to school, still working, everything. Yeah, and then, you know, Kunta would come up now and then, you know, and I had very good help from his family and my family up there as well. So it was okay, you know, it wasn't crazy, you know, it was handled.
How long was school for?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. So culinary arts, you know, when you go to culinary arts school, it's basically you already have to know how to cook. They just teach you skills and technique, and then you go with it. You create, you know, your food. You create. I mean, there's the basic dishes that you know the different sauces and you know different soups and stuff like that, which is basically classical French, you know, which is the core of all culinary. Everything is French cuisine. So you have to get that down packed, and then you spread your wings.
But what if you don't have that level of creativity that it requires? What if you don't have the know-how of cooking, but then, you want to do this?
Well, is either you stick to what they teach you, you know, you stick to what they teach you in terms of the straightforward French cuisine, and you follow the recipes, and I guess you do it you know, you repeat everything, the process of that, which kind of gets boring, you know, and but that's not the chef that I wanted to be.
That's correct, that's correct.
Know, I mean, I can do it, I can go in there, I can go in that type of environment, but I will get bored, I'll get fed up after a while, so I had to just do it my way with the food that I know, and I wanted to come back to Dominica, because I mean, Dominican food is amazing, but there's room for creativity, you know, and I wanted to change that. I wanted to use what we have and create beautiful, innovative dishes, you know, which is what I'm trying to do right now.
But what was the learning experience like for you? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Was it a challenge?
It was, man, I loved it. It was a challenge, but the fact that I went in there knowing what I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to learn everything, and I wanted to do everything how I'm being taught. You know, if there was this type of soup, it is the most boring soup you could ever think of. It's bland. There's nothing. It's white pepper, salt, some vegetables cut up in different shape. It's called a paysan soup. And
the name of one thing.
It's not our soup, but I had to do it their way in order to pass my classes. So I did everything the exact way that the French would do it. And then, you learn you learn your knife skills, you learn how to do butchery, you learn how to temper chocolate, you learn how to
fillet
fish, skin a fish, and skin a deer, you know what I mean? And then you use that in the way,
So you learned under their umbrella.
Right.
You followed their styles, you followed their rules, you followed all of that. But in the back of your mind, you're saying, Bamwele.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm taking everything, sucking it all in. I'm going to change the whole culinary industry in Dominica. I'm still getting there. I'm trying. There are so many herbs and spices that we have here that we don't use, that I use. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you bring that up because you would learn with the types of herbs that they use.
Yes.
But there's a different type, there's a lot of different herbs that we use here in Dominica. How are you able to?
There are a lot of herbs that they use, and we have the family of whatever is here. For example, there's cilantro, and then there's shadow benny. Same thing.
Really?
Yes. Shadow benny is a little stronger, but it's the same type of flavor, same, I don't know if you know the shadow benny.
I don't.
Well, it's that.
I know of cilantro, but.
Right, but that same sort of smell.
Okay. And we have that here in Dominica.
Shadow benny grows everywhere. So sometimes it grows wild on the side of the road, and So it's amazing how you can find the different. There's a certain type of wild garlic they have in England. We have it here. It grows somewhat like a spring onion. We say a sign in Dominica, but it's spring onion, green onion. That's the real name, and it's flat. So that's actually the flour that you have there on your stuffed eggs.
I see.
It's edible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Nyanda, you learned what you needed to learn, and then you decided you were coming back home.
Yes.
To Dominica. Not anywhere else.
No. Well, I came back to Dominica and I started doing my little catering, and then I got invited to do a job in St. Martin. My cousin, my family in St. Martin, they're very amazing. They're super cooks as well, and they're very supportive, my family in St. Martin and in Holland. So I went there, and then I got a job
in St. Martin.
In St. Martin. So I stayed, and then Kuntan Tea came to join me. So I worked at a restaurant called Canoa. Right now it's I don't think it's
open.
No, because of the Hurricane Irma.
Okay.
So it got destroyed. So I learned a lot from that restaurant as well. And then that's where.
What were the type of things that you would cook there?
It was very.
What type of restaurant was it?
It was a Caribbean cuisine with a hint of international flair. I think that's what the logo went. But the chef there, well, the owner, he used to be a chef, and then he hired chefs, and then he's very knowledgeable about food. So he would teach a lot, and then he introduced me to a lot of different people. So, a lot of people, and then right there I met one of the most amazing people, person that I've ever met, or couple I should say, they're called the Furlans. And they loved my food, and I'm guessing they loved me as a person as well. And they actually own a restaurant in New Hampshire, and that's where I met. No, they invited me to New Hampshire to do a little internship, and so that I finally got to do an internship. And I met the owner and chef of the restaurant, called Teresa. Chef Teresa, which is a very, very good friend of mine. Chef friends are the best friends, as she says. And she taught me way more than I learned at culinary art school. Yeah. And all the chefs that work in there as well with her. It was, and I've been there twice, you know. I was supposed to be going there again, but due to the COVID. But there, she's just an amazing person. She taught me so much. I taught her so much, and we've been very close ever since. So
in this type of business, do chefs share?
Oh yeah.
Do they share their knowledge? They share their recipes? Because a lot of times I find people are so reluctant to share recipes, for whatever reason, I don't know. You know, especially professionals probably like yourself, because you might step into somewhere and you know something tastes really good, and you might want to ask, you know, can you tell me what you put in there? And people may be a bit reluctant. And
the real chefs share their recipes.
The real chefs share their recipes. I like that.
They're not, you know, I mean, I can give you a recipe right now, and I could still turn it into something different. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really bother me. You know, I want you to learn. I want you to cook. I want you to see. Oh, I got that recipe from
Of
Chef
course,
Nyanda.
I'm not going to be opening, you know, using your recipe to go run and open a business or something, you know.
Because you know, chefs write recipe books.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you had the New Hampshire experience.
New Hampshire experience.
And you shared.
Yes.
And you were also taught, and so you learned new things as well.
Yes.
That again you were gonna bring back home.
Yes.
So all of these experiences were to the benefit of us.
Yes.
And the stuff eggs I'm having tonight, right? Yes, indeed.
Definitely.
So Nyanda, you decided then by the time you were done with your internship and so on, did you go back to St. Martin?
No, because obviously the restaurant was, you know, non-existent. The apartment building was non-existent. So I came back to Dominica. Something just told me to come back to Dominica.
But with what intention? Because you've been out, you've been in St. Martin, where we would think opportunities would be better for you.
I have no idea. I mean, I was just, that's where, whatever it was, the energy, the vibrations was calling me and telling me that this is where you're meant to be right now. You know, I did go back to Dominica to New Hampshire after Maria. So, you know, that was a different type of experience. It was a different time of the year. So it was great, you know. New Hampshire is, you know, it's the whole New England vibe. You know, there are a lot
I've been around. I drove through New Hampshire.
It's an amazing place.
It's green. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
Yes.
We went to like cheese festivals and you know the farmers markets, and it's a great experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you come back home. You don't know what drove you back home, but you came back anyway. Where was your family at this time?
They were here.
In Dominica.
Yeah, in Dominica.
All right.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So you came back home.
I came back home.
And what were you going to do?
I'm like.
Did you know?
I told them the hurricane happened. I was in New Hampshire when Maria hit. So I'm like, I'm going home to cook for everybody. That's all I said. I'm like, I'm going home. I need to go cook for everybody and make sure everybody okay. You know, like St. Martin was just behind me right now. And I came home and then I started doing the videos, Facebook Live videos.
Yes, you did. I remember those.
So a lot of people appreciated the videos, and I was just going around videotaping everybody and letting everybody know that their people are okay, their homes are okay, and I started cooking, and you know, I was just giving people food from what we had, and eventually when things started to get better, I started my catering again.
I saw you distributing items at one point in time.
Yes, it was vegetables and from the garden, you know, because my dad and his gardening, so like lettuce or side or something like that with the kids, and yeah. So that's what the distribution was, yeah.
Okay. So let us get into now how you started to figure out a way of making money, doing business, cooking.
Yeah,
yes.
It started with the private dining.
Okay.
So basically, private dining experience.
So how did people know, sorry to interrupt you, but how did people know that you were here and you were available to do this?
Well, I started with my little caterings. You know, people used to order food, you know, from my Facebook. I'll make my little announcements and whatnot. And then they would come home for dinners, my parents' friends. And then the word just spread. And then I'm like, alright, well, I should just do my private dining vibes, because I used to do that as well in St. Martin. And then I created this whole, you know, experience where we come, you know, have a team, come to your home, you're the host, you have nothing to do. You dress, you know, you tell me where everything is. I set up, we cook, we serve, we clean. And you be the host.
Yes, you host your people.
Talk to your guests, you do. And that's it.
And you did this here in Dominica.
Yes, and I've started it again. Yes.
So you did that for a number of people in Dominica?
Yes. Yes. So it's the guests, they love it, because you sit with your guests. You can't, you know, if you have a dinner and you...
What we call a dinner party.
A dinner party.
Yes.
You know, it's basically 3-4 course type dinners I do. Sometimes I do antipastel platters, which is like, you know, little charcuterie boards and stuff. And you get to relax with your guests and you're not harassed with having to go in and out of the kitchen and then having to clean up all this mess after your guests leave. You can just basically go to bed, and that's it.
That's good.
And
that's excellent.
Yeah.
And you're saying you had stopped for some time?
I stopped for some time
because of Milo's kitchen?
Because of the restaurant.
And you started again?
Yes, because the restaurant is now closed.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess with all of this COVID and everything is going on, you had to shut the doors for some time, which is what we see happening all over the world.
Yes,
so
unfortunately.
yes,
but I'm still here. I'm still, you know, on the hustle. I'm still doing my
So
thing.
tell us what you're doing, Nyanda, and I will also allow you to give out your number.
Yes.
You
well,
know,
right now I'm doing my private catering. You can also subscribe with us, Milo's Kitchen. So you can subscribe. So I'm basically launching this right here on your show.
Ooh, alright.
Milo's Kitchen subscriptions, food subscriptions. So you can subscribe. So for example, if you want food from Milo's 2-3 times a week, you monthly subscriptions.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
For a moment I thought we were talking about social media.
No.
Silly me.
You
go, girl.
Yes. So you can do that with us, and we will soon. Well, this is like a small launch here, but we'll soon be launching
your overall launch, of course.
You could fill out your forms and whatnot.
So let's talk, Nyanda. Let's talk. So you're saying that I, as an individual, can say I want lunch from Milo's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes.
So I subscribe for that.
Right.
And
a
monthly subscription. And do I pay you at the end of the month? Do I pay? How does it work? Tell us how it works. We want to know. Inquiring minds.
You pay. So it's like 50%. And then you pay the other 50% at the end of the month.
Okay.
In and in.
All right.
So you like in and in. So yeah.
This is good. Now, in terms of the menu, is the menu going to be the same menu on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, so you know exactly what you're
getting? Well, every month we'll probably just
switch it up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And we get to know, you know, if you have any allergies, any preferences, and stuff like that. So there will be options on your form you choose from. Yeah. And
how does one get the form? Is the form already available?
No,
is the service already available?
No, it's not yet available. So that's what I'm just saying. It's a little
good. You're just giving people a sense of it's coming.
It's coming, yes. So once we do the big launch, we will
But how soon do you anticipate that you'll get this going?
We're hoping just before the independence season. We're gonna try to have that going. So independence season will be a great time to get those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you are currently doing, because I get your WhatsApp messages,
Yes.
you do daily things.
Well, not daily, mainly like twice a week sometimes.
Oh.
So, for example, tomorrow we have our Creole pizzas, which has been going very well. You know, the dashing doughs and the breadfruit doughs, green banana doughs with the toppings of the saltfish or the shrimp or the local chicken.
I saw somebody post on Facebook today that they made a pizza with the green bananas as the dough and topped with this fish, yellowfin tuna.
Oh, that must have been nice.
You should try that, Nyanda.
I'll try that.
Yes, and it looked beautiful. It looked beautiful. So yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so and then we normally do our roasted whole chickens on the weekends, lasagna packages. So you can get your lasagna already baked, or you can just get it, just not baked, just put together. So you can just collect your stuff
And bake your own thing.
On Sunday you freeze it, on Sunday you can pop it in take it out for a little while and defrost and then pop it in the oven. You have the hassle of putting everything together.
And you do all of this.
Yes.
And what is the response of persons to this?
It's great. We have our regular customers on the weekends, we have our regular customers on the Tuesdays for the pizzas. So it's never, I'm always overwhelmed that sometimes I have to stop taking orders. It's too much.
Okay, it's too much for you to do.
Yes, too much.
So you never have anything staying on your account?
No.
I think it's because of what you do and how you do.
It's probably because
It's
of
good
that.
stuff.
Yeah. It started, from the first time I came back from England, I started with all these experiments. I had people like, James Delaney.
He says nothing like
he
you.
did?
He's speaking here. He says nothing, which is the current. Is it the current Calypso monarch?
No, it's his brother. Yes.
Okay. He says that there's nothing like your leftovers.
Oh, yes. And then there's Lennon Rooney. That's like my boy self. So and then I have when I travel to New York, my cousin Sean, I don't know if you know Sean.
Yes, I know Sean.
Rufina, and his wife, and my cousin Ricard, and they're all, and then my cousin Nisa, who's a very good cook. You know Nisa?
Yes, of course. She has her own little business
yes,
as well, right?
She does. So everybody has been very supportive. So I appreciate them for that.
And they're actually showing their support. Your brother is saying, can you shape? It's to see the look. So Nyanda, you've basically been handling your business.
Yes.
All right. When you opened Meadows, I remember people really being all excited about Meadows, and the food was different, and it tasted different, and it looked different, and people really loved what you did at Meadows.
Yes.
Probably, who knows? Maybe in the future you might be able to
open another one.
Maybe
Yes,
not.
yes,
Who knows?
In the future, yes.
Who knows?
In the future. The most famous thing we had at Meadows was our shrimp bakes, or bakes and shrimp.
Bakes and shrimps.
Yes, and people have been asking for this, man.
But you can only do so many things.
Yes. And my staff at Meadows, oh my God, I couldn't ask for better staff.
Yes, I know Gemma. Gemma is awesome.
Awesome.
Yes.
There's Dwayne, my bartender. There's my kitchen staff, Pat. That's Patricia. Coffee, and then there's my Haitian girl Adu. There, and then my niece and her friends. They've all been so amazing to me. And I can't wait to open another restaurant so I can have them all back.
Yes, once they're available. So Nyanda, is that it? Is Dominica it for you for now in terms of
I'm not saying that, my goal is to get the culinary industry in Dominica at a certain level before I leave it alone, because it's getting there. I don't want to just leave it and let it just go back to how it was. I want to get it to a point where we have other amazing chefs. We do have amazing chefs, but some of them are overseas. There are some maybe amazing cooks here as well, but there's not enough going on in Dominica for the culinary industry. There are no festivals. There are no, we.
Is it? Are you saying that because of COVID, or
no,
do you think generally we need more?
We need more happening. We've just started putting together a culinary association, which will become, we'll be announcing that pretty soon, with people like Big G Pepper Sauce, but to see how we can take it further. You know what I mean? There are culinary ambassadors in most of the islands, you know what I mean? These people represent their island in so many different things around the world. They don't win every competition,
but they go out there.
But they go out there, and there's an experience that they get, and then there's things that they can bring back to their country, and there's none of that going on as well. You know what I mean? The focus is just, it's very old school. You have the fig and saltfish, which you have the, I like fig and saltfish, hey, but you have the broth, you have the pilau and stuff like that.
The regular stuff.
It needs some oomph, as they say, and I'm trying to take it out from there and make it get, go to that next level. So that's
your goal
for now.
What's the difference, Nyanda? You mentioned cooks and you mentioned chef. What's the difference between a cook and a chef?
As they say, being a chef, you're 90% a cook and 10% is flair.
Okay.
So you sort of like you're more, I guess,
you bring the creativity,
and there are amazing cooks around the world, don't get me wrong, but then being a chef, it's a different vibes, it's a different, let's say, it's a flair, when I'm in the kitchen, I'm in another zone. Everybody that's worked with me in the kitchen know that I'm in another zone. My staff knows that. They know exactly what I want. If, for example, if we get a new staff on board, my staff will pay attention to them more than I would be, because they're like, no, that is not how Nyanda does it. That's not how Nyanda wants it. Don't let Nyanda see it like that. I'm not no Gordon Ramsay, but I like my
yeah, things done a certain way.
Yeah. So and I appreciate them for that, for like knowing that and handling that, So I am trusting them for those sorts of things.
What is your most favorite thing to cook?
My most favorite thing to cook. Oh, let me see.
You have to think about that one a bit.
Yeah.
So while you...
My most favorite dessert to cook?
Oh, dessert you want to give me?
Yeah. My most favorite dessert to cook is I do this soursop cheesecake mousse. Yeah, so that's my favorite dessert to cook, and it's so far it's been a hit. And I love cooking, grilling lamb and making different sauces for like lamb shanks with it. That's like, I just like when you cut into it, it gives me that kind of feeling.
What are among your favorite ingredients to use?
Shadow Benny.
You come back to that kind
I love that ingredient. Coconut milk is another one. I think all chefs love butter. Butter is a big, I don't know, it sort of makes everything just nice and creamy. I love using lamb. Lamb is like one of my favorite meats. And I really like using lobster in certain dishes. You know what I mean? Like one time I did lobster roti, which was pretty cool.
Sounds like things that I just want to eat. I think you're just messing with people's palates this evening.
And I love pickling things as well. I love pickling. Like you could basically pickle everything, anything you want.
And for those of us who don't know what pickling is,
it's just like a form of preservation. You can preserve, like for example, I did pickled red onions on your stuffing. So it's like pickles has vinegar, sugars and spices and stuff like that. So keep it, preserved for a long time.
Okay, Chef Nyanda in studios. It is already 9:30. We have to give them, before we get to the recipes, we have to give them the answer to our Facebook poll. So we asked the question, what was the question, Lily?
It's my favorite food to eat.
Yes, your favorite food to eat. And we had what options?
We had pizza,
avocado something,
avocado toast, Cheerios. I think we had lasagna, and then we had.
No, I don't think we had lasagna. No. Let me see if I can get it. And then we had what, kubuyo.
And we had fish kubuyo with green banana.
Okay, let me see if I can get that quickly. What your options were for that? Come on, where is it? Okay, so we had fish kubuyo and green bananas. We had avocado toast. We had callaloo. We had Cheerios and pizza. These were the 5, and a lot of people. So we had 20 votes going to fish kubuyo and green bananas. Right. We had 11 votes going to avocado toast. We had 5 votes going to callaloo, 2 votes going to Cheerios, and 2 votes to pizza. So you need to tell them which one it is.
Okay, so you guys won. It is fish kubuyo and green bananas, and actually avocado toast being the second favorite.
And I think that was the second.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
So
I actually thought myself it was avocado toast as well.
No, because everybody knows I love avocados. That's like one of my favorite things. But you could always put that with the fish kubuyo.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't go wrong if you're super hungry and you eat your fish kubuyo. It's like a broth without all this stuff. Yeah.
And obviously you create your own recipes.
Yes.
What inspires you in terms of your creativity when it comes to?
To be honest with you, Ferdinand, I have no idea. It just comes. I'm like, ooh, that would be nice with that. And then I was like, stand up in the kitchen for 5 minutes watching the seasoning shelf, and then I'll think like, if that flavor goes good with that, and try it. Most times I always hit the nail on the head with the flavors, and it just goes together. Sometimes people are like, what? Like, for my Christmas hams, I created a sorrel glaze instead of your regular honey mustard glaze. I don't know, it's Christmas, it's sorrel, let's just do a glaze.
Do you do that for people as well? You bake hams?
I bake hams, I do different glazes. If you want me to do your turkey, I can do that as well. So yeah.
You must be pretty busy around that time of year.
Yes, up to Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, I don't do anything. That's family time.
You were meant to do this though.
Yes,
I think.
Yes.
I think you had the right calling.
Yeah.
You listened to that calling and you went ahead with it. And I think you were meant to do this. And I still don't think you've gotten to where you need to be as yet.
I know that I haven't. I am 100% sure that there's so much more, and I would need. I think I can't do it everything on my own here in Dominica. I need the help, you know, of you know, those in charge to take it to the next level. Because I mean it's only me. I need, you know, as I said, with the culinary association that we're trying to create right now, you know, we're gonna come together and see where we can head. There are so many competitions around the world, especially in Florida, that you know, all the islands participate in except for Dominica. You know what I mean? And I think even if we go there and then, as I said before, we don't make it to whatever, but you know, I'm the type of person to put in that drive and have the team knowing that, you know, you just give your best and eventually you will get there.
True.
It's all a learning process, and it's all, you have to practice. Cooking is about practicing and getting to where you just get it without using a recipe or anything, you just know.
Somebody, Aura, I got your question tonight. She wants to know, do you have a cookbook? And do you intend on producing a cookbook?
I do not have a cookbook, and yes, I intend on producing one.
Do you have some recipes written down already towards that?
I have so many recipes. I have exercise books. I have exercise books full up with recipes. They're all over the place, you know. I just need to get it all together.
You need to get it together.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And work on that.
Yes.
I think that will add value to, you know, your chefness.
Exactly.
If you want to put it that way, I think it's something you should work on.
And it will be a great asset for Dominica as well, you know, a very good, you know, nice cookbook coming from Dominica. Yeah.
We are going to just take a quick break, and then we're going to come back to the recipes. But after we deal with the recipes, I want us to talk a bit about some of the things you've done, some of the events you've done, and I want you to talk a bit as well about local products and how they fit into your scheme of things. All right? So quick break. We're coming back. Get ready for the recipes. Get your pen and paper that you need. So they need to get their pen and paper. Those persons who, you're welcome, my dear Aura. Yes, they need to get their pen and paper as we get ready to share some recipes with you. Well, maybe one or two. Yes, recipes with you that you can get to taste some of that special goodness that she cooks.
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining, a must listen to. In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio, every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m.
Okay, so I hope we gave you sufficient time to get your pen and paper so you can jot down your recipes. You can always go back to view the program to get it there as well. But it would be good to get it right away as she's sharing.
I can also post it on my page, on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And
you share
you
with
can
me.
post
Yes,
it as well.
no problem. Good stuff. I like that, Nyanda.
Yeah.
So what are the recipes you're going to share with us tonight?
I have 2 recipes that a lot of people have been asking me for.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
First one is avocado salsa.
Avocado salsa. I love avocado too, by the way.
Yes.
Love.
I love it. And sweet potato cinnamon rolls.
Sweet potato cinnamon rolls.
Yes.
Okay. So, avocado salsa.
Avocado salsa. Guys are ready? We have 3 cups of avocado cubed, half a cup of tomatoes chopped, no seeds, half a cup of red onions chopped, 2 cloves of garlic chopped or grated, 2 seasoning peppers chopped, a half a cup of spring onions, green onions, or as we call it, chives, half a cup of bell peppers chopped, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 to half a teaspoon of salt, depending on your how much salt you take in, 2 tablespoons lemon or lime juice, and the lemon or lime juice is actually to prevent the avocado from turning gray.
Okay.
Also adds a nice tangy flavor to it. And you can have some 2 tablespoons of celery and parsley chopped for garnish. So you basically mix all of this together and you add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to it. Mix it all together and garnish it with your parsley and celery.
Okay, you know you're going to have to repeat.
I know.
So in case they missed anything along the way,
Yes.
they can just jot it down quickly. So once again,
Yes.
avocado salsa.
Right. Avocado salsa, 3 cups avocado cubed. Okay, so basically everything here is chopped after this. So 3 cups of avocado, a half a cup of tomatoes, half a cup of red onions, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 seasoning peppers, a half a cup of spring onions, a half a cup of bell peppers, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 to a half teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons lemon or lime juice, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And you have your celery and parsley chopped, 2 tablespoons each. So you mix everything together and you sprinkle your parsley and your celery for garnish.
Alright, so that's avocado salsa.
Yes.
And we got that recipe. The second one, you said you said these 2
Yes.
are recipes that persons have been asking you for.
Right.
Right.
So if I'm speaking too quickly or you don't get it, I'm going to post it on Mido's Kitchen page, or you can get it on Nyanda Peltier-Charles, and I'll also send it for Fadina so
Correct.
she can post it on her page
Yes,
as well.
definitely. Please do that.
Right. So the sweet potato cinnamon rolls, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the ingredients for the dough, the filling and the glaze, and the process. I think I will have to, it's very long, so I'll have to post this one.
Okay.
Alright? So, I mean, who knew we could do sweet potato cinnamon rolls,
I'm
right?
telling you.
So you have 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 2/3 cups of milk, evaporated or whole, 12 cups of a half cup of sweet potato puree, a half cup of sweet potato chunks, 2 cups all-purpose flour, 2.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 12 teaspoons cinnamon powder. What am I saying 12? It's a half teaspoon of cinnamon
Are you
powder.
tired?
No, it's how I've written it. A half teaspoon of allspice powder and a half teaspoon of nutmeg, and also have a half teaspoon of salt. So that's for the dough. Right? So the dough has basically You mix all ingredients together that I've just mentioned, and you roll it into a ball. You cover it with a damp towel and you let that rise for about an hour. And then you have to roll out the dough, and that's where you put the filling, which I'm going to mention right now. So the filling is 5 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 cup sweet potato puree, a half cup sweet potato chunks, a half cup brown sugar, 1 teaspoon cinnamon powder, a half teaspoon cardamom powder, a half teaspoon ginger, a half teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 1 teaspoon almond extract. So this is the filling you use. So after you roll your dough out, after it's risen for an hour, and this filling is cool, you spread it out, you roll your dough long with wide, roll your dough. I need to do a video.
Yes, I suspect that.
And then you cut your dough up, place it in a well greased pan, cover it up and let it rise again for another hour. Right? Now this is the fun part, the glaze. You could make glaze basically with anything you want. So I choose to use our local ingredients or herbs or whatnot to make a glaze. So I use what we call basilic, which is really basil.
Wow.
So you could use basil, rosemary, hibiscus, sorrel leaves, passion fruit, mango, or coconut milk to make a glaze, any glaze. So these go great with this cinnamon, this sweet potato cinnamon rolls. And you could also use this glaze on cakes, you know, for dips if you're doing beignets or donuts. So 1 cup of water, you infuse it with any of the herbs that I've mentioned, basil, rosemary, hibiscus, or sorrel leaf. You infuse that, so basically you let that boil in the water. You have a cup of water for about 10 minutes. You may need to add, you know, some water now and then, but on a very low fire, because you're infusing it, and then you let it set, you know, like when they say steep. After you turn it off for another 10 minutes, and then you bring it back on the fire. You remove your infusions, your basil or your rosemary, whatever you've used, and you add your powdered sugar until it's thickened, and then you pour it all over your cinnamon rolls once it's baked, and they're yummy and gooey, and they stretch, and it's just amazing.
Oh my goodness, I can describe that. So what we will do, I won't allow you to, I won't put you through going over all of this, because you have indicated that you'll be putting this on your page. You'll be sharing it with me as well, so I can put for the fans as well to get their recipes. But thank you for that very much, Nyanda. We really do appreciate it. Actually, I love when you sent me the video and you used the whisk, and you said what the recipe you are to. I said yes, I like that.
My daughter knows the exact. She says it word for word the whole video. This is what they said, Mommy.
Oh my goodness. I hope she's still up and she's still watching or listening.
Me too.
Yes. So I think that's brilliant. I think that's amazing. You know, I just think you're just such a natural talent, and I think that you're going to be continue doing awesome things. Nyanda, are there any chefs out there that inspire you or you aspire to be like?
Well, to tell you the truth, I mentioned him already.
Chef Ramsay? Really? He's mean.
Get things done. He is such a great teacher in terms of, you know, if you look at his videos, he always has everything, you know, it's step by step. I learned how to make the perfect scrambled eggs from Gordon Ramsay. A lot of people in Dominica may not eat scrambled eggs that way because it's a little bit runny. In Dominica, everybody like their stuff well done.
You can give it to me a little runny.
Yeah, so it's nice and runny.
I love eggs.
I love him. My chef friend from New Hampshire, she's also amazing as well. She's wonderful at what she does, so I look up to her, and she will laugh about this. But I love Martha Stewart. I mean, she's not a chef, but she does everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like
She's
art
so creative.
and, you know, she's I love what she
Okay.
does, you know, and I'm trying to think of other chefs that, you know, that I really love. But these three are like my main.
Your main ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nyanda, earlier on I mentioned local ingredients, and when you came back home, you wanted to give us a taste of international mixed with local.
Yes.
How much of local ingredients make it to your dishes?
90%.
90%.
Yeah. I've only recently started using more local chicken from Atlantic Farms.
From my friend Karim.
Yes.
Mhm.
So which is an amazing product. I did a dish the other day and I sent him the picture and I'm like, yo, chicken was amazing.
Mhm.
So and I believe that, and his prices are great. Great. I think they should just stop bringing in
Imported
imported
chicken.
chicken, and it's healthier, it's better, you know what I mean? All local vegetables, things like flour, and I use local flour as well because they make the dashing flour, the sweet potato flour, you know, I forgot the name of the company that does that, you know, vegetables, and you know, I try to you know, turn, like for example, our provisions into different things.
Mhm.
There's this young lady that does local fries, which is amazing.
Yes, my friend.
Yes, I use that.
Yes,
I
she
use
does
some
the
of that.
dashing and the mixed and the
Mhm.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's, you know, I try to, and the local fishermen, the local pork and goat and everything.
So you're a local girl.
I'm a local girl. I believe that we should use what we have because we have it. It's there, you know, and again, just creativity.
And not only that, you're supporting local, and by supporting local, you are helping them to survive,
Yes.
to make a living,
Yes.
you know, to put some money in their pockets
Yes.
and in the bank.
Yes.
So I think that in itself is also very important.
Yes.
Very, very important.
So yeah.
9 minutes, moving up to the 10 o'clock hour. We have to wrap up in just a while, but if you would like to call and just join us for a few minutes, we would welcome that as well. Our numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, and 449-3097. Those of you who are calling from overseas, or if you would like to call from overseas, our numbers are 305-432-9624. And I always get a little beating, you know, for taking calls late, a bit late towards the end of the program. But sometimes, you know, there's just so much to talk about that, you know, you do not get around to the telephone until about this time. So if there's anybody who would like to make contact with us, feel free to call us on the program. Somebody wants to know again if you would consider doing a YouTube channel.
Okay. So that is.
And knowing your husband, I'm surprised that this is something you've not done as yet.
Listen.
Hold the thought. Put on your headphones. Let's take this call, and you will tell me about the YouTube channel when we come back from this call. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Hi, Tay. How are you? Am I doing good so far?
Oh.
Soon. I'll be home soon. Bye.
good evening.
Hi,
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. I need to ask the young lady if she ever thought of doing a YouTube channel. If she does that, this would be wonderful. So, I mean, people can subscribe to the channel, and she can also, it's a good business venture.
Okay, so that was what we were just answering before we went to the telephone. You can answer, Nyanda.
Okay, so it's actually
work in progress.
It's a work in progress. When when it's ready, I can't say too much about it.
Okay,
but
okay.
It's a work in progress, and it should be out. It should have some few episodes out in a few months.
Okay, so we'll accept that.
Yes.
Work in progress, but it just means that we will get it sometime soon.
Yes.
Nyanda, while we wait for the telephone, if anybody else wants to call us, I understand also that you're a member of the Dominica Health and Wellness Association.
Yes.
Tell me about that and what's your role?
Well, I'm just a member, and I support them, in terms of, the food industry in Dominica, the organic aspect of, what you put into your body, as a member, as a person of wellness. So that's my support in the group. Whenever there's any expos, try to create something healthy and something that is local again. So yeah, it's a very good group. They're very amazing. They're amazing members. Sister Nats, she's like a food business.
Yes. She's one of those I've been trying to get on here.
Yeah. So it's a great group. They're doing a lot for Dominica in terms of wellness. We have that type of environment here in Dominica where wellness is supported in every way. There's somebody I didn't mention that I would love to mention. Bella. Bella.
From Point Michelle?
So she's another person that she's taught me a lot. I used to help her cook when I was younger. I used to be there, with her family, JD's mom.
Mm-hmm.
So Bells is like, she's an amazing individual person and an amazing cook, and I just needed to mention her.
Okay. Our time is creeping up on us, so before you wrap it up, tell me some of the events you've done, and what that experience was like doing big events in particular.
Right. So I've done the Solar Seal.
In the mic, Nyanda.
Sorry. Plus your breakfast fete. I've done the boat cruises. That was a big one. That was a crazy one. I did 3 boats in one night.
No way.
Yeah, 3 boats, then the breakfast. So yeah, it took me like 2 weeks to recover from that one, and then we did the New Year's Eve with Infinite. New Year's Eve party. That was pretty good as well. I've done the Worker Music Festival VIP dessert station. The desserts were very much local. Passion fruit cheesecakes. We had almond loga and what else? I'm trying to think on the top of my head. I think we had something sour soppy somewhere in there. So these were amazing. And again, it's with the Next Connect group. Trying to think of other events that I've done.
You can't remember all of them, but that's quite fine. But you've done quite a bit, and I think from all reports you've done very well.
Yes.
With everything that you've done so far. And I can only see you getting better and getting more and more opportunities.
Yes.
And with that, I want to give you the opportunity to sell yourself, give your number, and let persons know what it is that you offer as we speak and what they can look out for in time to come.
Okay. Okay, so this is my company, Mido's Kitchen. Our number is 225-6368 or 315-6336. Email address is midocompany30@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Mido's Kitchen. We do caterings, we do private dinners, weddings, parties, engagements with 16s, dirty 30s. So anything you want, we do for weddings or for parties. We also do food stations, which is pretty amazing. So it's this new thing that I'm trying to introduce. I've done a few. So you basically have a pasta station in your wedding, a barbecue station in your wedding, pizza station. So it's not, the same old buffet. You know what I mean? Or you could have an a la carte wedding where we serve your appetizers, mains, and desserts. So basically your guests sit and we serve your guests table by table. So that's another option. And I've worked with Nyanda.
Oh,
Dorset, so she's amazing.
So I'm gonna
Carla so these two.
Yes,
are amazing in every way.
I have someone who just approached me just today to make a recommendation. So you're gonna go on that recommendation list as well. So yes, awesomeness. Somebody is saying that the last wedding you did was very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
thank you very much.
You definitely seem to please a lot of people and to make a lot of people happy.
Yes.
And I hope that you can just continue building a great clientele here in Dominica that you have no reason to leave and run to anywhere anytime in the future. Let's get some final comments from you, Nyanda, as we wrap it up.
Well, I'm just trying to, as I said, get the culinary industry in Dominica on another level. I'm trying to make it as innovative as possible, and use the international gastronomy that we have and just sort of put it together to what we have here in Dominica and get ourselves on the map. There's so many cooks, there's so many other chefs in Dominica that can help us get to that level. You know what I mean? We can get to go to the competitions around the world. We can have one of our main focuses be food. Our food, which is authentic. There's many places in the world that have the authenticity of and the flavors that we have here in Dominica, and I think we need to just kind of let that grow, so we can be up there with the culinary industry.
All right. And on that note, we wrap it up here on the In the Spotlight radio show for tonight. Let me thank my guest, Nyanda Peltier-Charles, for joining me and you tonight on the program. And I think she did a wonderful job, represented herself fabulously. And I really look forward to getting the opportunity to taste some of her things a bit more often, So I definitely look forward to that, and I hope you do as well. Those of you in Dominica, please support this young sister. She's doing good things, and with our support, she can get to do more and help others as well. As you can see, she's supporting local. So if we support her, she can support others, and it'll just be, somewhat of a cycle, a domino effect. Let me thank all those of you. I see I got a few new followers tonight. I got a few new fans for the Facebook group. That is for In the Spotlight radio show group. So thank you for that. Thank you to all those of you who viewed the program and listened. I always tell people this program is actually a radio program, and my majority of listeners, the persons who listen to this program, they listen via the radio. This is a radio program. So also all my radio listeners, good evening to you, and thank you for choosing us every Monday night. That's a wrap. Until next Monday, God willing, we'll be back here again. Look out for the video of our next guest. Maybe sometime tomorrow. I'm trying to stay ahead, you guys. Trying to stay ahead. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you again. God bless.
Thank you for listening to In the